passion, beautiful to soul, especially in action. This year, not fashion, came in abundance. Films like in Sundance, tech like the pop on Tachi. You are Curtis of Peace Heart. You must carry, cause MCs they all vary. Some do, they motivate, work for the hate. They serve a hope on a plate, across different platforms. This hero buffet, hydration like crochet. Don't focus on a day, we always here for you. Don't from your emotionally broke. Settling our knowledge and conversations, go make them yours. What we run is a limit, now your hands on the torch. Take it easy like sunny days on the porch. MediaScope when you're emotionally broke. Settling our knowledge and conversations, go make them yours. What we run is a limit, now your hands on the torch. Take it easy like sunny days on the porch. Now you award winner with no award tours. This culture meets the art, podcast with the heart and essence of the growing the palace in the people. Without you being equal, what we lack is ego. We're back now, so here we go. Run the show like Arsenio, episodic or rituals. Minds change to visual. Representation of our nation and its differences. Some explanation of our uniqueness and innocence. Mass media's intention is to desensitize. We praise the wise and
what is going on, everyone? It has been for real this time, a month of Sundays since I have been on with you, and I am so excited. Welcome to another, actually, it's not just another, it is the beginning of season 9, folks. Season 9, first episode of season 9. If you've never been here before, you are in for a treat. This is MediaScope, all things media, tech, and pop culture. And perhaps I should introduce myself because maybe there's somebody who doesn't know who I am. My name is Tachi, media professor, filmmaker, media content producer, also a journalist. I am the guide to this journey into media, tech, and pop culture. And I'm super excited because we have a guest today. You don't have to hear from me all the time. Sometimes we can have guestesses, plural. And today we have a guest. But before we bring on our special guest, what I want to do is say hey to everybody because it's been a minute. Let's see who we have now. We have some folks on Instagram. Miss T, you are here. What's up? Photos by Omar. So good to see you. Miss Elise, hello. And HK81RA, welcome to Diva for You. April J. Castor is here. Also, the North Broward County Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta. Hello, sorors. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Charlene, awesome. And Mary is here. What is up, folks? Tawana, how are you? Dr. Tawana, I've missed you all too. Believe me, I've been wanting to come back. Today is the first day that I've had the opportunity to get myself together to come back on. Heather, okay, so HK81RA is Heather. Hello, Heather. Welcome to the MediaScope Massive. It is good to have you here. Camelia Flanagan is here as well. Bryson, what's up, Bryson? Good to see you. Now, let's see who we have. I know we've got some folks, yes, over on the tubing of the U or YouTube. We've got D. Carpio, my dear friend D. How are you? So good to see you. Also, Lauren Johnson, hey, happy Wednesday to you too, sis. So I am super excited because let me tell you where we are broadcasting. We are on Facebook. 3 Facebooks, both my personal page, the MediaScope page, and the Indie Soup Media page. For those of you who don't know Indie Soup Media, get to know it. That is my new network, and Indie Soup is everywhere. So we are there on Facebook. Also on YouTube, we're on the Indie Soup YouTube page, and also my personal Dr. Tachi Facebook. YouTube page. Okay, too much. YouTube page. We are also on Instagram, as we know. So hello to Instagram. And we are broadcasting live to our website, indiesoupmedia.tv, and to our Roku app. So if you have Roku, go ahead and download the app, the Indie Soup Media app, and you can watch not just me, but a whole bunch of cool creators. We have about 24 creators that are making amazing programming. Support, watch. But again, you could watch on any of those other things. So, D. Carpio says, yes, good to see me with all the energy. Thank you. You know, I try to have some energy. I try. Bestie is here. What's up, Bestie? Good to see you. Just Chris has also joined us on the Insta of the Gram. Hello. Mark Clements. Hello. And Bryson said he's back home safe and sound. Fantastic. Good, good, good. Yes. So if you are wanting a full good experience where you can watch us on television, I suggest YouTube. You can go to my page at Dr. _Tachi or to the Indie Soup page and watch on a full TV. I mean, what more can we do, folks? I give you several different ways that you can watch, but I appreciate however you are watching. It is good to see you. DJ SK, good morning to you. And it is evening here for those of you that are. Oh, and you know who else I forgot to say? We are going to be back on Gospel 107.1 FM in Nassau, Bahamas, and the rest of the Caribbean. We wish you a multitude of blessings. This year, I have to find, or this season, I need to find a good gospel song for you all. But if you we'll be on at 2 p.m. in the afternoons on Thursdays, not 8 p.m. anymore, but 2 p.m. So if you are in the Caribbean, make sure you're plugged into Gospel 107 because it's not just me. They have amazing gospel music and inspirational music and other shows. All right. And you may say, why are you there? Well, you know, somehow they wanted me. So here I am. Nicolette is also here. Also, Janelle and Hannah Boyd Miller. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So you know what? We are going to get to it. You need the food truck. Yeah, we're waiting for the Queen of Food Truckery and Minister of Libation to get here. So when she gets here, we will have the food truck. Don't worry. Don't worry. All right. So we have Christine R is here. Hey, Christine, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. It's such a joy to have you here. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We are going to take a little bit of a break, and then we're going to bring on our guest because I do, of course, what would I be if I didn't tell you a little bit about the platform Indie Soup Media? So I'm going to play something, and then we'll have our guest right after that. Here we go. We are indie content redefined. And again, I'm encouraging everybody to watch, download the Roku app. And if you don't have a Roku, that's why we have so many other ways to watch. You can find out more at indiesoupmedia.tv. And now, without any further ado, let me see. Christine, this is just Chris. Hey, what's up? She's over on the YouTube side. Wonderful. Good to see you. Yes. All right. So here we go. We are going to bring on our good friend, Raymond Torregano. We have a great show for you today. It's going to be a great conversation. I'm excited. So rather than talking about it, how about we just get to it? Here we go. Raymond Torregano, you are a ray of sunshine. Yeah. Sir, how are you?
I am doing well. Please tell me you can hear me loud and clear.
I hear you loud and clear, beyond loud and clear. Hopefully everybody can hear both of us loud and clear. Let me know if you can't in the audience, but I hear you just fine.
Okay. Listen, I am excited to be here, and I'm going to need a tutorial for you for all of this because I am so impressed, and yeah, I'm just excited to be here. Welcome, everybody. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. So that means we need to make a day to go over the stuff because I am happy to do that.
This is production. So yeah.
Thank you. And as I told you before, my mother would have wasted all of her money if I didn't learn something in college. So, at least I learned something.
Yes, she is proud. She is proud.
Good. So remember, everyone, if you have questions for Ray, do you go by Ray or Raymond, or how do you like to be called?
You know what? When I was younger, I was running from Raymond because I'm the third, because my father was Raymond, so I was going by Ray. But as I've gotten a little older, I'm cool with both. So Ray, all my friends call me Ray, so you can just say Ray.
Oh, that means I'm a friend. Look at
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
Look at that. Well, let me talk a little bit about how we met. A good friend of mine from grad school was one of his clients in Columbus, and we just kind of connected there because I was like, I need to get him on the show. So I reached out, and he said, if Nikita Harris is your friend, then definitely.
I don't want no smoke. I don't want no problems.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, so
Exactly.
let me clear it up. She wasn't one of my clients because she's probably going to watch this, I'm sure. She was the
Oh,
client. She was the top
the
dog.
client.
Yeah. I don't want no problems with Professor Harris. So yeah, if you're a friend of Nikita's, you're a friend of mine, and it's been a joy to really follow you since then. Because every time I can see somebody that's doing anywhere close to what I'm doing, it's just a nod to them, man, because I know what it takes. I know the commitment. And so it's been cool not only to talk to you the previous time and today, but to see what you're doing with MediaScope and with Indie Soup. So keep going. I'm excited.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is, well, my thing is I really look at what you're doing and I'm super impressed because I know when it comes to video and content and social media, so many industries don't use it. Professionals in industries don't use it or don't use it the way they should. I'm pointing to you all, my friends in real estate, that don't use it as much as you could. And then there's a connection there with the hair world as well, because you were like one of the few that I really saw out there doing things. And so tell us a little bit about who you are and then why you got into content creation.
Wow. So guys, my name is Raymond Torregano. Like I said, I'm the third. I grew up an art kid. So I was the guy that was doing the poster board in the group project and drawing on the back of my folder and switching up my room every 3 months, ripping up my clothes, first one piercing his ears. I was an artsy kid. And so most people will tell artistic children, do this for now. But right at about high school, I knew that I didn't understand what I was saying, but I was like, I want to be this way as an adult, So I was really drawn to certain things that as I got older, I kept, attaching myself to art. And one of the things that really caught my eye was barbering. I had a little brother, well, younger brother, he's grown now, but he was 9 years younger and, saved my parents some time. So I started to cut his hair, eventually cut my father, cutting around the neighborhood. I was that kid. And so that I had a chance to, through another friend, work at a barber shop. And so I was like a young phenom, 18, 19 years old, fresh out of high school. And my thought was to maybe just take a year off because I was, decent grades to go off to college, but I understood it and I loved it. And it felt like just drawing on hair. And then after, I don't know if we got any beauty professionals out there, but I was dodging the state board because I wasn't licensed. I was a renegade out there. And the owner was like, you got to go to school, man. You got to actually get a license to continue to work here. And the only thing they had available was cosmetology. And, I was a boy. So I was like, I was very ignorant. That's not for me. But he's like, that's the only thing you can take and still work here. So my intention was to go get the Cosmo degree or license and come back to the barbershop. But then that made sense. Color and line and design, it just spoke to me, although I didn't know anything much about hair. Long story short, I graduated and I didn't stay long back in the barbershop. I wanted to be in cosmetology. And after I got over the kind of ignorant hangups of, being a primarily female profession, I just looked at it as an art job, and then I just started tying in other things that I enjoyed. Like I did theater when I was younger, or, I had a level of entrepreneurship in me. I didn't know what that was back then, but I was the kid selling blow pops out of my backpack in high school. So I was drawn to a lot of the elements that's involved with the beauty industry. And this is 01, 02. The towers fell and all of my soldier clients left, and it was cosmetology from then on out because I like to say their wives stayed behind. I work in a military town, and I didn't stay long. I didn't really fit in a lot of salons because I was, not only an art kid, but I was growing up on Goody Mob and Outkast and that era and fatigues coming to work. I was just a renegade, and I still don't know really what was in my mind, but I was really a 20-something-year-old guy that was not going to the club. I wasn't going to Daytona Beach. I was trying to save my money because I wanted my own space. So at 28, right around the time I'm supposed to be going to my high school reunion, I opened up a salon. And when I tell the story, it's just wild because it was really young. But I'm lucky along the way. All those things happened. And right around that time, man, my assistant at the time, she was at college up the street, and she was like, "You got to get on Facebook. You got to get on." And I was like, "That's for college kids, right?" No, Ray, we can do anything with it. This is 06, 07. And so I jumped on. You know, it was her name that was the passcode, Tachi, for like 2 years because I just it was her. You know, she was running it until I started to understand it. And another friend, because I was a little bit older, so I'm 30 at this point. And that 25-year-old crew, I'm so grateful to them because they were fresh on and they were like, "You got to get on this other thing. You know, you can tell stories for 10 minutes. As long as you're like not naked, you can get on something called YouTube, you know?" And I'm like, okay. Let's do that. So I got a little CyberShot camera, Sony, Tachi, and hey guys, I don't know what I'm about to do, but I'm gonna do it. And that's my first video. It's still up July 4th weekend. 2009, and to say that it changed my career in life is really an understatement. It changed everything. It really, even at that point, I was on a timer on how long I would even be behind the chair because everything exploded. A year later, I'm dating. She's my wife now, but we were at an event, and I'm just uploading videos. I'm not thinking this is 09, so I'm not thinking the world. I'm just trying to maybe get the south side of Columbus, Georgia to come to the north side where my salon is. I don't realize that everybody can see it. And now we got smartphones. We got the first iPhones now. So I always tell people, Dr. Tachi, that the internet and mobile technology was like a business partner the whole time I ran my business. It was like this silent partner that kept helping me and my years of being in front of people or theater or doing hair shows in the beauty industry or being artistic. I didn't have a lot of the hangups of being fearful of being online. So I was just uploading video. I really realized that, other beauty professionals or hairdressers are interested in my stuff too. And, you know, I got a lot of hate mail around that time because my profession, like many, feels like, well, you're not supposed to go online. That's for the amateurs. We're the professionals. Don't break the fourth wall. And they were wrong.
Wait, hate mail?
Oh yeah, it was bad.
So instead of doing hair and making money, people sat down to write you correspondence about what you aren't supposed to do.
Yeah. They did it in 09 and they did it this morning. So that's just what we got going on. This is scary. This is new. It puts a scoreboard above people's head and profile picture. It shifts the ground from underneath them on rank and file and big city and small town, and you look a certain way. And now it's really about who got the goods, who's really got artistic talent, who really wants to show their business, who really wants to connect with people. And the way these platforms operate is, hey, if you'll help us get people looking at our platform, we'll help you spread your message. And I just got that early. And I was at an event and there was a young lady, I'm in Orlando, Florida, and she's walking up on me, and I'm looking at my girlfriend. I'm like, yo, I don't know who that girl is. She walking up on me. You know, like, dang, I don't. Because she was approaching. She was like, Rhythm Hair Studio, right? That's the name of my salon. That was my Instagram, YouTube handle. There's no Instagram yet. Doesn't even exist. I say, yeah, I'm Juicy 724-7259. What? I'm one of your subscribers.
Wow.
That changed it. I was like, what? Yeah, I can see, I'm watching your content in Jacksonville, Florida. I work at Paul Mitchell. Man, you're one of the only Black stylists that's talking about hair color. I'm like, you live in Florida? I'm in Columbus. That young lady is still a part of my community today, 14 years later.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got in my car and I was like, babe, can you believe that? She's like, you need to talk to your YouTube subscribers and have them to come to your classes. That's 2011. My salon was closed by 2015. I was trying to moonlight at nighttime as a YouTuber and content creator, but I realized, like, I think I'm more helpful to do this. I think I need to be here. My clients didn't like it. You know, my mother, wife, and mother-in-law still can't stand it because I don't have a salon. But
Well, you know that's the thing. I think in order to do this type of thing, you cannot think traditionally. You really do have to think outside of the box. And most of the time, when it comes to with hair, it's the same thing in the academy with professors. Your job, and they think all you're going to do is teaching, research, and scholarship, right? Or service, any of those things. So when it comes to doing these types of things, and this has always been me, they're always looking like, don't you have a paper to submit to a journal? No, I don't. This is my journal. So I think you have to think very creatively and be an out of the box thinker when you're in these fields, if you're going to succeed on social media.
I couldn't have said it better. This is, even today, even in 2024, it takes a level of bravery. It's not going to look normal to people. You know, I sat this past weekend with some friends of ours, our little bougie group of friends that I love to death. But at the table is executives at businesses and a 40 under 40 in Columbus and master's degree in teaching and big time exec professor at the local college and me. you know, the hairdresser turned content creator that's 3 years from 50, seemingly playing on the phone like the teenagers. And you got to listen to that. Now, they don't think that as my friends. But if you look on the outside looking in, it kind of don't match this artistic, tattooed up, pierced up hairdresser with purple glasses on that seemingly that it doesn't connect. But the reality is you and I and others, we're just above the pay grade. We're above the curve. This is going to be the new normal. I mean, I don't want to bring her into the conversation, but even, the beauty industry is going a buzz right now because of what Beyonce is doing. And I had to tell my community recently that, okay, I'm sorry.
Let me say in vernacular how you all in the South say, we're going to bring her into the conversation. We can't not bring her to the conversation because you have done like your life. And the thing is, I have to tell you publicly in front of everyone how much I love your lives. I am not a stylist, but that goes to show you can learn so much from him because you're able to connect the lessons that he puts out there to whatever it is you do with content. Yeah. So if you're not following him, please follow him. So not to interrupt you, I want to say hello to some folks before we go on. Derek Tuggle is here. What's up? Ron is here. And Ron had his show right before mine on Indie Soup. He does Touch Base daily. So he is on at 11:15 in the morning on his platforms. And then we do a replay at 4 p.m. Eastern time in the afternoon. So if you missed it in the morning, you can watch it on Indie Soup.
I love it.
Me too. Oh, and look who is here. One of my favorite question askerers, not a word, I'm making it one. The food plane, D.S. Elias is here. What's up? And he says, hello, Dr. Tachi and fellow MediaScopers. What's up? What's up? Nice to see you back. It's good to be back. I missed you all. I really did. Chris Edwards is here, who is also one of the creators on Indie Soup. Hello,
killer
Chris
profile
Edwards.
picture, Chris. All of you guys, killer profile. I love it.
Listen, Chris makes me ashamed to put what little I have up. He asked me the other day, do you have I'm like, not like yours because I'm just ashamed to give him anything because his are just so amazing. Both he and Ron are amazing photographers as well. So that's part of the thing. Let's go on over to Instagram and see what's up. Nation of Wabiria is here. What's up, Wabiri? I see Mrs. Copeland. Miss Bespoke is here. Beautiful reflections. Delore SGO. Hello. Zoila, how are you? Welcome. Booth of Vandross. It is good to see you. Also, who was it? Janelle had this comment. She said she left the salon after 23 years behind the chair. I'm sure your knees were happy.
Yeah.
And your feet.
I've become almost a spokesperson or kind of an advocate for that actual thing. I even created a whole course about, creating a business outside the chair. Now, there's a lot of things going on, but one of the things that is real now is we've got everything is changing. There's cosmetology students that are coming out of school that have no desire really to go behind the chair. The options that are available now to come right out and be a paid podcaster, YouTuber, have your own product, influencer, TikTok, to come right out and do education, to work with brands and products, to work on set. It's like the days of like paying your dues behind the chair. That's not really the career path, like talking about like every other industry. So I'm even talking to more and more people that's like, hey, I love this industry, but I don't think I want to be. And I felt it. I had an event in 2015 and the speaker said something and I called my wife, and I've only been married 3 years. So to this day, I'm thankful that she didn't just walk out on me because it was, crazy talk, but I was like, bam, closing a salon. And she's like, what? We just got one salon of the year. I was like, yeah, but I honestly think this is kind of holding back this other idea, this digital world and money and time that I can get. And I think I'm more lethal shoulders up than I am with my hands. And I asked her to trust me. And now I'm talking to more and more people, and I'm not the one to kind of talk them back behind the chair. I'm like, lock the doors, man, but be ready to work on this other space and really look at content in the internet. It's not a game. It's real. I saw Ben Stiller said today that movies don't have the same importance as they did once before. Right. That was said this. I'm into, that's why I'm excited to talk to you, because I'm just as much into media and film and content. And he's right. Now he's saying it to be bitter on some level because Hollywood is being adjusted and people ain't going to the movie theater. But the reality is the amount of movies and films and Netflix 8-part series that we have, you got to bring the boom to get us to go pay $30 at the movie theater the same way. So just like the salon, it's like, yo, I want to try something different. So in 2015, I sat down with my staff, with my team, with my clients, talked to my family, and I made, easily the hardest decision I had to do, because I literally had the logo of my salon tattooed on my arm. Like, it was my whole identity. But I saw the internet, and right around that time, Periscope jumped off. And to me, that just was like, okay, now it's live. Now we can do what we're doing now. Come on, man. I gotta go. I gotta roll. And initially we did in-person classes because that's all I knew, but that wasn't sustainable. 30 classes in 1 year, 30 people every 2 weeks, craziness. Challenging my health. I had ballooned up to 260 pounds.
Wow.
Drinking a little bit too much, challenging my marriage. And I was asking for, like, man, there's got to be another way. I got a lot of things to share. How do I do it? And the early signs of something that was very similar before we knew what OnlyFans was, but there was a platform that was called ConnectPal. They've since, they're not open any longer, but they were, man, between Periscope and ConnectPal, they helped me to switch over because they introduced me to subscription. And I could put my content. At this point, I had been on YouTube 6-7 years, and I could now put even more intense training, education, things that I'm doing now. This interview, we'll go behind that paywall, right? And I put it up. And I remember when the first person signed up for $14.99, you would have thought I hit the lotto, because in my mind, I knew that I'm gonna put the work in. I'm going to share this to the world. And I remember the day, just to make it a little personal, when what was coming through the membership matched what I was making in the salon, and I was able to kind of go to my wife like, babe, we can pay the bills with this, So I'm a huge advocate, man. I love the internet, and for anybody that says anything negative about it, I don't fight them or argue. I just try to find people like you that get it. That's why we're in each other's DM all the time, because this is the game. Whatever industry that you're doing, pick up that phone, man, because every human being on earth is walking around with it in their back pocket. And that's a free TV to broadcast to them, whatever you got going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to keep going with this. I just want to take a moment to welcome everybody who has come in. If you are just coming in, if you've never seen me before, welcome. You are now part of the MediaScope Massive. My name is, what is my name? Dr. Tachi. I am all things media, tech, and pop culture. We are here we're back. After a long sabbatical, we're now back. We're here at 6 p.m. Eastern time every Wednesday. We're on a bunch of platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Roku, the website. We're everywhere. So you can check us out everywhere. And we do all things media, tech, and pop culture. By the way, if you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe, not just to mine, but also to the Indie Soup YouTube. Like and subscribe. It really does help. And I'm excited because speaking of YouTube, we have grown so much, and this is week 5, and we already have like over 4,000 subscribers, which may not be a lot to some people, but we got that like in 4 weeks. So it's about 1,000 followers a week, which is really great. So please like and subscribe my channel and Indie Soup Media. And now let's see, we may have some questions before we get going to the rest of things. Let's see. Yes, I knew the food plane had a question, and he asked this: what trends do you see happening in hairstyles? Do you ever see 80s hair making a comeback?
Wow. So I'll answer the second question first.
Okay.
I think when you think 80s, there's everything from the curl in the early 80s. If we're talking about black and brown folks, we're talking the curl, but even back then it was still the curly perm on other ethnicities. You also had a lot of hard lines, like asymmetrical parts in the side, graphic, slants, Bobby Brown. So the boxes and the flat tops were coming. And that was, honestly, there was even an 80s push. It started what we know to be the natural craze. Then if you go back in time, even, Grace Jones and a lot of females back then were playing with the idea of natural hair. So it's coming back, but it's not going to look like neon jackets and shiny stuff and sneakers and boom boxes. It's going to have texture. It's going to have color. It's going to look androgynous both ways. You're seeing a lot of people that traditionally walking around with straight hair with texture, and you're seeing hard bobs that maybe we saw in Asia on African girls. So people are like culture clashing, and there is an influence on what was happening in the 80s and 90s, but it's being reinvented because we're 30 years removed, man, 40 years removed from the 80s. So it's a nod back to it, but today's creatives, they are inundated with, they can go to Turkey and see what they're doing in fashion. They can see what they're doing, in Alaskan, hip hop heads. You can't, it's not just their own creativity. They can literally tap in and combine all of this going on. So I think one of the things I'm encouraging people to do is, because of the internet, we're going to almost see less of people trying to go retro and almost appreciate that we're in an exciting 2020s time that is, man, people can music. We hear it. It's getting, we got the queen of R&B about to do a country album. Like, people are colliding ideas and breaking a lot of rules. So yeah, you'll see elements of like the New Editions and the Madonnas and the Janet Jacksons, but it's going to have a very 2020, almost 2030 spin to it.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow. So he said thank you.
Yeah,
Very
no doubt,
interesting.
no doubt,
Very
no doubt.
interesting. So I want to turn to something. Somebody on Instagram, I missed it. Somebody said, "Get me from behind the chair."
Oh wow.
So, and you know what? I need to get your handle. I'm going to put it up. Are you at Raymond Torregano?
It with a dot in the middle. So at Raymond.Torregano.
Torregano. Okay, I'm going to put that up on the screen because people are asking so that they can follow along. I want to turn to this, since we're talking about YouTube and content creation. There's been an explosion. I would say probably since maybe 2010, we started to really see it happening hard, but then it blew up during the pandemic. And that is the YouTube hairstylist, meaning this is not a person who is licensed, but they figured out how to do their own hair. And now they're giving advice about it on YouTube or social media in general. Tell me what you think about that.
I'm actually, I'm like the redheaded stepchild to the beauty industry on this topic, because although I am a licensed professional, I'm no longer behind the chair. I've been a YouTuber since 2009. So I'm really like the hybrid car, you know, and we have something that's going on in our industry right now that is in Georgia. There is an attempt to deregulate the industry or to cut down the hour requirements for certain styling, and that's going to allow like a big gap in the seemingly gatekeeping that said, well, you have to have a license in order to come here, 2 years in school, 2,000 hours, 1,500 on the West Coast, what have you. That there's certain styles that what people are arguing is, hey, I can buy a blow dryer from Sephora. I can get my lashes from Sally's. I'm doing only natural styling. I'm doing locks that doesn't have chemical. I'm doing braids 10 hours a day. Do I have to go to school to learn color and cutting? And there's much of the beauty industry like, yes, you know, keep the gate up. And I don't have that sentiment. And it's like, guys, I've been screaming it for years. What is happening on YouTube started as clients who were looking for answers. And unfortunately, the beauty professionals, we didn't go there in large amounts. I was out there, me and a couple other people alone. So clients said, well, we still want answers. So what we'll do is we'll talk to each other. So now clients are talking to clients and people were getting results. And then you had this new thing happen called a YouTuber or a natural hair expert specialist. And then platforms kept happening. Instagram, Periscope, TikTok, you know, Discord, Facebook groups. And like many professions, so it's not just the not beauty pros, but many professions were very reluctant to talk about their expertise online. So they're in the chair now. They're getting invited to Essence. Their features on platforms. It was many booths at a hair show I just went to in February, where many people wanted. I can think of one right now who was doing YouTube in her bathroom in 2010. She was on a platform there because now even more they've gotten licensed, or their community is big enough where people don't really. Not only do they not really care like people think about the license. I know this sounds crazy, it's sacrilegious. I know if you got some beauty pros out there, throw your tomatoes, tomato. But I'm not. I work for me. I don't work for any brand, so I tell the truth, and that's my space. Not only that, but the styles that are really popular now: locks, twists, natural, blowout, silk press, braids, lashes, brows. None of that's on our state board test, which means there's almost like a new industry that has been created. And now some states are saying, well, you can open up a business because we don't even have, our test is a razor haircut, hair color simulation, chemical relaxing, which has left really the world in large regard in 2010. Right. The industry is moving so fast and transforming, our state board can't even keep up. So instead of reforming, in my opinion, it's kind of like, well, hey, go ahead. The gate's open, do your thing, which means we run the risk if we don't get in front, like media, YouTube, content, establish ourselves as the authority. We can get Ubered. We can get Redboxed and Netflix. And it doesn't sound, for years, that was almost impossible in the eyes of artists. You can't replace me. A robot can't do what we do. But COVID told us that the government tells us to go to work. So I literally just had a whole masterclass roundtable with my community on this topic for 3 hours saying, guys, we got to think a lot differently. You got to think like the cab driver who was with the cab company. You got to switch over and you got to start thinking like an Uber driver. You got to move. Yes. The real estate agent that was protected. Yo, man, people walking around with a cell phone showing houses. This is a different world. So I do think that I'm not against it. I think that the customer makes their decision and they're looking for answers every day. It's the number one thing searched by women, period. And they're going to people that have answers, that have now, and listen to this number. You got people that's been on YouTube since 2008. That's 15 years.
Yes.
That's a career. They know what they're talking about. But they didn't have a license. Well, nothing that's even on our test is what the clients even want now. Right. So we're in a disruption right now. So that's even more of I got to do even more work because my work is about helping people to still have businesses and take care of their families. But I'm asking them to think a lot differently. Just like movies, just like the music game, you know, I could talk so much. Even films, they bombed because the actors wouldn't come to social media. I won't say the movie, but it didn't make it because nobody knew, because they thought they was movie stars. And you got to come down and be a regular person.
Thank you for saying this, because when I say it, people think I'm, just talking out of the back of my head. But it's for real. You have to come where the people are. Gone are the days, Willie Ben, where people are coming to you. You need to come to them. And this is interesting that we've seen this, because what happened during the pandemic is that a lot of celebrities started to come on social media and started to do things. Out of those ones that were there when they couldn't connect with us outside of social, there are very few left. So it's like, so what are we now? Chopped liver? You forgot all about us? What is this? So it's interesting, because this is, I'm sure, also tied to the hair world as well. One thing before we continue on, your biggest fan is here. The National Black Debutante Project. That would be Professor Nikita Harris. Right?
Hey, Miss Parker. I love it.
I always say to her, because she's like, if you need to get a Nikita Harris in your corner. Because I always say to her, if Nikita Harris be for ye, who'll be against ye? I don't need anybody else.
Quick story, man. And I don't even know if I've ever said this to her, but I had to tell each of my clients one-on-one that I was going to be closing that salon. People like Nikita, who I've been doing her hair 8 years or something. And everybody wasn't happy. Some people don't talk to me today if they see me at Publix. But we hugged outside by the car. And I knew she said it with tears in her eyes. She was like, I don't like this, but you got to go. You're supposed to be doing something else. And she's been one of my biggest advocates. And I didn't get that from a lot of my clients, the industry, because I was that guy, you know what I mean? Like I was a big dog in town. So I knew it hurt a lot of folks, but I just remember her saying, like, go ahead and be great. So I'm even excited to see what she's doing now. But I always appreciated that, because everybody didn't push me into go spread your wings. Some people was like, we want you to die here, stay here, so
die on this hill.
Die
on this hill.
So I appreciate her, but
absolutely. Also, the food plane says this about the conversation about YouTube hair. While that's interesting, my wife recently decided to do her own hair, and she watched a video like that, and her hair came out beautiful. She did a great job just watching a video.
Listen, we're inside of cabs being. It's not. We're not talking about totally taking away salons. It's just they will not look the same. They will have people. You got somebody like Tabitha Brown who she's building a product line that could easily be purchased by Unilever within a couple years. I mean, it's everywhere, and she's doing such a good job. Again, when Beyonce dropped her initial video, I went all over my community, guys. The queen has walked in the chat now, and we didn't necessarily pay attention to as much as what happened when Riri came with Fenty. Like, honestly, Tachi, I don't know if you wear makeup or not, but even people in the chat, when's the last time you heard about MAC?
Listen, MAC.
Yeah. When's the last time you heard MAC? At one time was like the makeup.
Bro, that was the quintessential. You had, I struggle to find anything else that I really have that's MAC now, because so many other brands have superseded them. But the thing that MAC had was the diversity end of it. It was made for stage, right? It was made for theater. And so makeup, art, cosmetics. And so you had the bright colors that would show up on our skin. You had the great textures. You had foundations and pressed powders that we could wear without looking like Casper, the friendly ghost.
And MAC was considered by many, as somebody who even did makeup back in the day and used to roll with a bunch of makeup artists, it was considered pro. They even had an element MAC Pro. And then 2017, here comes a R&B singer from Barbados who says, I think I want to sell it right to consumers. I'm not going to, it's not about being a pro. I want to give you a pro feel, all the diversity, 70 shades. I'm going to drop it in your bathroom. And she shook the makeup industry on its head, because now, like you're saying, like he said in his question, consumers can bypass. People are looking for ways. Self-checkout. They're looking. Ain't nobody shopping at malls. Every industry is being affected by what we have access to online. And so I went from people telling me I shouldn't be on YouTube because I'm giving the game away to literally some of those same people that sent that hate mail is creeping in at my DM like, Ray, can you help me with my YouTube channel? You know, and I'm like, hey, if I can help you, I can, because I'm just trying to tell you what's ahead of the game. It's music. I mean, when's the last time we went to a video warehouse? A payphone on the street. Like, we're seeing things change over and we're making them normal. Exactly. But it's happening now in an industry where nobody thought that a salon could change or something that took seemingly our artistic talent. But you're right. When COVID hit, it probably sped things up about 5 years, because what we thought was going to be 2 weeks wound up being 3 or 4 months that people can come in their business. And unfortunately, not enough of my fellow beauty pros kind of went online. We just kind of was waiting for the salon to go up. And in that time, it was an explosion of YouTube channels and TikTok. We had Clubhouse happening. It's like all of these things we're talking about money and relationships and religion and beauty and politics and race. And it made some authorities that didn't have maybe the credentials that we thought had to be had. It made authorities because they knew what they was talking about. So the customer is picking the customer. It's not what I like. The customer wants something different. The customer don't want to go to the movie theater. We want to put it on Netflix and watch 8 episodes back to back to back. The customer wants to listen to music in a different way. They don't want to go to a record store, right? So we have to think outside the box and reinvent. And people are doing it. We're doing it, but so it's a challenge. But we just got to reinvent and be what's the word? Flexible and loose.
Exactly. Exactly. I really don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want, it's terrible, but I don't want to leave the house. I want for stuff to come here, when it comes to getting things or whatever, because we don't have to. We don't have to. We have a couple of comments on Instagram concerning Mac, etc. Dr. Tawana says, I haven't purchased Mac in ages. Janelle said, Mac got all my coins, as in like back in the day. Absolutely. Zoila says, true. I haven't purchased Mac in a while. Lovey says, right. Mac red lipstick was a hit at one point. Or that Ruby Woo or the Riri Woo. Now that was before, when Riri had that collab with Mac, before she came out with her own. I guess she was telling us something. I guess she was trying to tell us something. I'm coming. Mm-hmm. So Miss Bespoke says she loves Fenty foundation. Zoila says this is very insightful. And Sundry, what's up, Soror? How are you? She says she orders groceries on the regular. You're hard pressed to find me in any store but Trader Joe's, and that's because they don't deliver.
That's it. That's it. So it's there has to be a reinvention. So even education. So our beauty education, I'll maybe shift to that, was pack your bag and get a flight and go to the World Congress Center downtown Atlanta and get a room for $200 a night and eat $35 chicken wings in the back of the Civic Center and $25 parking. And you got to get a new outfit because you got to be fresh. And the hair show at the top, so that was $1,000 just to get out the city. And what I understood is like, people don't want to travel for that, or they want another option. Right. So what we're doing right now would have been me coming to wherever you are and being in person. And now, we take this for granted, but the clarity of what's happening right now with me in my home and you where you are in yours, this is amazing. And this is the normal now. My little 11-year-old nephew doesn't even understand. He's like, so there were payphones, Uncle Ray? They were like payphones on the street. How'd you
on
use
the
them?
Street?
I was like, well, we put money in it. Money? You put money in it? I don't want those. That's okay, Uncle Ray. I'm cool with my iPhone, So
little do we know that it's being paid for ahead of time, right? But he doesn't know that. But
he doesn't even like money. Money to him is kind of like, for what? Everything's on a card. It's wild. So I'm supposed to be the OG. That's the grumpy, keep it like it was, but I'm not. I'm like, yo, man, bring it. Every time I see something new and I try to bring it. So I launched an online education platform that felt, our initial marketing was the Netflix of hairdressers, and it was slow, for people to get on it. And now so many people are following suit. And I'm excited about that, you know what I mean? And it allows me to reach people. I was speaking with a young lady this morning from Guyana. And so it's way past the United States. We've got members. Yeah, we got members in like 15 countries. And they can jump on Zooms like this. Sometimes literally, Dr. Tachi, I'm on live broadcast, and we've got people, I call them my tribe members. They're in another day. Like it's like 10 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday, and we're at 10 o'clock on Tuesday because they're in Australia. It's wild. I never take it for granted, but I love this world. Even my wife and I have another side of what we do in health and wellness, and it helps us in there. So I just love it. I love these phones. This one last thing, I was talking to my mom one day, and she was like, "You're always on that phone," and I'm like, "Well, I've been letting you say that for a long time. Do you think I'm playing? Well, I just feel like you just be looking on that phone." I was like, "Well, if I had a laptop, would it look like I was playing, or would it look like I was working?" And she thought about it. She said, "Well, that would be different." You know, I was like, "Well, Mom, this is what I'm trying to understand. And a laptop in this house that's more powerful than this iPhone 15. This is my laptop. This is how we're connecting." And now that even helped me in my mother's relationship, because now she all about Apple and she all on YouTube and she gets it. Like, Mom, I'm not playing. I'm connecting with people around the world, and this is now my career. You know, talking on here.
Wow. Well, we have a couple of things. We have a few minutes left. I wanted to get this question. The Food Plane asks this. Let's see if I can find this. He says it may be a bit elementary. I don't think so. However, how many times a week should one shampoo? He heard it's not good to shampoo every day, which is why he's asking.
Okay. You know, that really varies. There are people that wash their hair every night. Typically straighter hair. If it makes any sense, the oil that's coming from the scalp, it can slip down the shaft like a slide. There's no curve. There's no coil for the oil to stop and have to travel around a S curl that may be Dr. Tachi's curl or coil. So straighter hair gets oily daily. So they're washing their hair every night because it's oil is sticking to their head. And as the hair waves up, typically the oil or the dirt or the kind of the hair gets older, you have longer to wait on that. So so weekly is good. Some people, again, they enjoy every other day, but typically dependent on the pattern. I hesitate to say things like race because that's not really what we're talking about. We're talking about more like the more coily and kinky the hair is, it can hold on to the styling, it can hold on to the look. So it could be weekly, bi-weekly. Some people even get a deep cleanse on a monthly, but and other people that may seem like absurd, and for other people shampooing their hair every day is absurd. So it just depends on what you can do, and you can't really overdo it as long as you're shampooing and conditioning going through the process. But until they change something different, for optimal kind of potential of your hair, I definitely still say go to a pro. Get with somebody that's a pro that literally this is what they do for a living, and they can tell you the regimen that works best for you, give you an assessment, because there are people out here that are actual wizards and magicians, just like in any other industry. So if you want the most out of your hair, at least go visit a pro at least once every month, if not every season.
Great sage advice. Now, before we go, let me say hello to GR Houston Jack, another creator on Indie Soup. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I know she just had a show. Awesome. I want to play something of yours that is really I love all of your content, but this really struck me because it really is a demonstration of how you can use video to educate and to level up what you do professionally. So
I have no idea what you're about to show. This is fun. Go.
Oh, yeah. Well, here we go. Let's see. Where are you? Here we are.
3 classic haircuts that every professional hairstylist should be able to perform like clockwork and have in their bag. Number 1, a bob. Guys, we've got to be able to kick this out anytime it's asked, because a bob was popular 40 years ago and it was popular today. It's not going anywhere. Being able to achieve a jaw length, a shoulder length, an asymmetric, a graduated bob, Guys, you need to be able to do that from now to the end of your career. Second, layers. 90-degree layers all over, which is in its natural state a fro. When it's in a sleek state, layers that are going to be beautiful when you're curling hair to show level lengths inside of the hairstyle. One length hair is very gorgeous on some clients, but a lot of times people are looking for movement and shaking their client, trying to force layers in dimension inside of a one length hairstyle instead of cutting those desired layers 90 degrees all the way around inside of the hair. Third, a pixie, or a classic short style. Many communities around the world call it the Halle Berry, right? Or the Nia Long, right? Because this cut was very, very popular in the early 90s and it hasn't went anywhere. This cut was popular again 30 years ago and it got cut today. Guys, we gotta get a pixie, a bob, and layers on deck, ready to go every day of the week in the salon.
I love that because it shows that you took the time to put that together. There's so much more impact by seeing the images and you talking about it than just telling someone.
First of all, thank you for that, because my love language, shout out to anybody that's read Gary Chapman, is words of affirmation, doggone it. So you want to, sometimes I'm putting I've turned into a little bit of a cook. It's my new hobby, get my mind off things. And I'm getting pretty good, Dr. Tachi. I got to make something for you one day. But
yes.
There's a level I'm realizing even with cooking is it's still chicken, it's still beef, it's still broccoli, right? But how we season it, how we put extra things in there, if we're using butter, things like that. So what happened also, because now I was doing online training, is the idea of hiring people and paying people that get old and they get expensive. So I again was really just I gotta maybe an early adopter to understand it. I gotta learn this myself. Like I gotta learn editing. I have to understand lighting. I've got to really get into technology, which is not always easy for creators. We kind of are linear in one thing, but I had to embrace being really a techie, and with help of people like my brother who is a pro videographer, and just my own bumping and bruising. I started to look at the phone and look at editing tools, and eventually I have really, I would say, master creating video content, be it YouTube, TikTok, Reels, interviews, you name it. Pretty much anything, guys, you're seeing on my timeline, I'm doing that on my phones, to the point where I started to be asked to coach people with that. Like, teach me how to edit and add transitions and things on top, because storytelling now, it's not an option. It's your marketing department now. You've got the billboard, nobody's looking up, right? People are not listening to program radio. There's no commercials on, Tubi or Netflix like that, right? So everything that even worked in traditional marketing, I wouldn't say what you're wasting your time. It's just people, they're holding this phone. So now to tell our story, we gotta use video. I'm not even really a fan of telling people, unless you're doing a podcast, photo and still shots, we got to talk to them in video. So I even created a course where I was like, hey guys, because I was trying to figure out a way, like, how can I explain this to people in a way that doesn't sound threatening or hard to understand? Because that video is an example of, okay, they're going to give us reels. We got up to 90 seconds. But I want to put a bunch of information up in there, because I don't want you to just click the link and join my community and buy something from me. I want to prove to you I know what I'm talking about and give you something that you would want to save, you would want to share. So I got to start thinking like a filmmaker. I got to start thinking the same ways, filmmakers put things together, using music in the background. You saw writing across the screen, different photos, tempo, editing, which somebody might say, well, man, that's just you're doing too much. Except that one video that I made with slippers on and pajama pants, I put up the other day, and it's sitting on right now 7,000 views, 109 shares, 69 saves, which means something that took me 5 minutes has reached maybe 10,000 people. And I know at least 6 or 7 people join my membership because of that one video. And I can do that from my home, and anybody could. So that's where Content Cake came in. And you're actually a part of the bakery, right? Which we call. So I use the analogy of cooking to show that, hey guys, you're walking around with a camera. It's got a mic on it. There's apps that you can get that are not as hard as you think, no matter what you're doing. If you're a fitness influencer, religion, child mentor, MediaScope, Black Debutante Society, it doesn't matter, guys. We're going to communicate with video. Let me show you how to seemingly bake the cake with all of the different ingredients and become your own marketing department. And it's been really, really fun. It's it's been really, really fun to kind of be in that world. And ironically, more people have bought it that are not even in the beauty industry, quite honestly, because it's something that's universal. I don't talk just about hair. I just talk about creating content.
And that's the key thing, because on its surface, like creating content is creating content. It's just the different spin you bring to it for whatever industry or whatever type of content you are doing. Absolutely. So I feel like I need a part 2. So
I'm here. I love it.
I'm going to, because I mean, there's other questions that I really wanted to ask. I know the audience probably has some more questions to ask. So we're going to bring you back. Well, you're part of the MediaScope Massive now.
Hey, so I'm an honorary member.
Yes, yeah, not even honorary. You are. So
yeah, I didn't realize this is like the launch of a new season. Tonight's episode.
Yeah, you are the first episode of season 9.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, hey.
And what a way to kick it off.
I love these names. I'm looking over here on the side.
Yes. Butha says something, what he says, if you're doing too much, that just means they aren't doing enough.
Yeah, and I I try my best not to be, and not that that's antagonistic, because he's very right, or he or she is not very right, but I just realized that we're still talking about something that's less than 20 years old. It's still so new. People still scratching their head, and they're like, "You mean to tell me that I gotta dance on TikTok?" Well, you ain't gotta dance, but you gotta think about it. You mean to tell me politicians got to think about this? Yes. Whoever gets in office in November, they will get on the microphone and say, social media got me here. It's that serious. So no matter where you are, and my last point, I think this will help people. One thing that's holding people up, Dr. Tachi, with social media and content is their age. But, I'm 40, I'm 50, my kid's on it, And I always kind of ask them, how old is your thing? How old is your business? Well, it's 10. I was like, what? Your business is in elementary school. They're online. How old is your thing? Well, I've been doing it for 15 years. Well, you're in the 10th grade. Your business age is more what we need to consider. Even if you're 70 years old, you still got to get down where people are, because more than likely you ain't been doing business that long. Like, I've been only doing business 25 years total, education and the salon. So that's what? I'm fresh out of college. You know what I mean? That's meaning you would be holding your business back because you think you're too old to get out here and figure this out and talk to this camera and talk to these phones. We'd be missing out. It's the world now. It's not even the future, guys. It's what we're doing right now. So kudos to you, Dr. Tachi. Keep going. I can come back. We can talk about something different, because I know being in the hair business, I know hair questions come up, but we ain't got to talk about hair next time. We can talk about something else.
Oh, you're coming back. Okay. Never mind. I don't even know why we're going through this pretense. You're coming back. But how, if people want to reach you, I put up your IG, but how would you like for people to reach you in addition to that?
Absolutely. Well, honestly, I don't even know if I've even said this publicly, but I've gone away from even a .com, because we want people to get right to what they need. So my link tree that's inside, and you can pretty much search my full name on any platform. It's Raymond Torregano on YouTube. It's Raymond Torregano III on Facebook. But IG is where I hang out a lot, and I clear out that DM every day or every few days. So, man, if I can answer any questions for you guys about what I offer in my products, or if I can answer a question that can help your business and media or anything, you could just jump in my DM there. But my link that's in that IG page, it has everything that I have, be it my YouTube channel for free or Facebook groups if you're in the beauty industry. In particular, if you're out there and you're building something and you know that you need to communicate with video, just take a look at least at the course explanation. And honestly, guys, if you jump in, my DM today, because of Dr. Tachi, I'll give you an awesome coupon code to grab Content Cake, because I think it's one of the most easy to understand, comprehensive ways to turn your phone into a powerhouse marketing tool that can explode your business. So that's everything's there. So primarily IG, you can see what I'm about. I'm there each and every day.
Absolutely. Please don't when people say contact them.
Yep.
Content K, excellent. He is absolutely amazing. And I'm so honored that you took the time out today to hang out with us here on MediaScope.
I do not get a chance to meet. I don't get interviewed by people that match the energy that I bring. So I'm sitting in this seat like I got to bring it because Tachi is going hard. Most people, they kind of calm, but, artsy fartsy. So when I see people,
I probably should be calmer, but
no, not for me. Not for me. So, thank you for having me, guys. Have a wonderful night and continued success to everybody.
Absolutely. And I want you to hang on because I want to talk to you real quick.
Okay.
So I just want to say thank you to everybody who came on. We're back. We're back all. We have for the next 4 weeks, I think we have guests, which is cool. But you can always watch my page for news as well. But yeah, so we're bringing you more guests upon guests upon guests. And again, today, our great guest was Raymond Torregano, who is a content creator, head of Content Cake, and also a great stylist educator. And thank you. So here he is again. We are going to bid you adieu. By the way, guys, make sure you tune into Indie Soup Media right now. And I have to be better about time because I'm overcrossing. But we have Daniel Winton, who is on right now on Indie Soup Media. So it's called Sphere of Influence with Daniel Winton. He does amazing interviews. Please go there right now. And with that, you know how I end. I love you for watching. I bid you adieu. You guys, myself, Ray, and all of his great wisdom, we're about to exit stage left. So until next week, my friends, I bid you adieu and cheers. Here we go.
Close the doors, walk across the corridor. We got something to show you. Media is our repertoire. Fed with the same news, no channel to use. Cruise control mentalities. Here we offer you. We can show you on your way. The content it never